This is a quick and dirty tutorial on installing Amplitude 16 or AMP16 on ShadPS4. So I already have the custom ShadPS4 downloaded and the package editor of choice that I'm going to be using, along with the full game with its update and the 2 Kickstarter exclusive backer packages. So I'm going to go ahead and extract the emulator to its own folder. You can name this whatever you want. I will just cut this out just so that we get it nice and clean. Inside the folder, you can go ahead and launch the emulator itself. It will give you a pop-up on where you want to install games. So for this specific tutorial, I will create a folder inside of ShadPS4 and just name it games. And select that. It'll also ask you where you want to set this directory to install DLC. This is where in the future we're going to be installing the Kickstarter backer packages. So for now, we're going to keep this to the default. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to keep that in mind. So once I hit OK, it will create the folders. And if I just paste in the pathway there, the folder should exist now. Yes. So just keep that in mind for later. It is located wherever you set it. So I will keep this for future use. So once we have that, I'm going to go ahead and go into the games folder. I'm going to go ahead and open this in another window. Games folder. We're going to extract our package editor into its own folder. Now, unlike our PCS3, where it'll extract the packages automatically when you drag it in there, for our ShadPS4, we have to manually extract it. So we're going to go ahead and open up package editor. And then we're going to go back here and we're going to open up our Amplitude PS4 package. Should open up here. Nice 2.3 gigs. We're going to go ahead and create a new folder in our games folder. Now the name of the folder will be the name of the title ID of the game. So in this case, we can see right here on package editor that the name is going to be the 02480. Go ahead and open up that folder. We're going to go here. I'm going to copy the pathway to this folder because I'm going to click on export to GP4 project. Once we do that, I'm going to paste in my pathway to the game folder itself and then click save. Now it's ShadPS4 games Kusa 02480 save. Now it's going to extract the entire game package, and this does take it does take some time to extract all of this. Once it's done, you'll get a pop-up saying package exported to your pathway. So you can click OK, you can check the folder. There will be this project.gp4 file. You can go ahead and just delete that. That's just for rebuilding the game for consoles. Now, what you want to do is we want to get the update into. So what we want to do is create a folder, another folder in the same games folder, and name it USA 02480. However, we're going to put in a dash and then update. I'm going to go ahead and open up that update folder, and then we're going to open up the update file. Here, game application patch, we're going to export to GP4 project again, and then we're going to go back to games, and we're going to extract it to this update folder instead. Once that's done, because it's very small, we can go ahead and go back to ShadPS4. If you refresh the list, you'll notice that the version is now version 1.01, which means that the update was successfully detected. Now for the backer DLC, as I've established earlier, you can double check here in paths, and you can see here that the DLC folder is located in this folder. I already have this folder open because I kept note of it earlier before. You can also copy the path and then paste it here if you did not do that. So once you're in this add cont folder, you're going to want to create another new folder. and you're going to name it the same thing, CUSA 02480, just like how it is on the in the games folder. Now you're going to open up this folder, and instead of it like extracting the entire files in the CUSA 2480 folder, it's actually a bit different for DLC. For DLC, we're going to go ahead and we're going to drag in our DLC package, and it'll open. Now, you see _00 dash. We're going to basically be copying everything after that. So in this case, we're going to be naming this backer package 001. So we're going to create a new folder with the same name, backer package 001. And then we're going to open up that folder, copy the path, and then we're going to export this into that folder that we just created. Shouldn't take too long. It's just a couple files. And then we're going to do the exact same thing for the other one, which the other one follows the same naming convention, which is just backer package, but instead of 221 or instead of 001, it's 002. Backer package 002. We're going to go ahead and extract that into the 002 folder. And then once that's done, if you go back here, refresh list just in case, you can go ahead and grab a controller. If you go into controller settings, I already have my PS4 controller connected. It should auto detect everything. And then we can also go into settings, and you can go into user if you want to change your user. So go ahead and change my user, save. So once you got all that done, if you click on it, you should be able to hear the audio. So if you go ahead and launch the game, it should launch with no issues. Since this is a fresh save file, it is going to want me to go through the tutorial, but I will skip that for now. Now, if you're wondering, did I install the DLC correctly? You'll find out in just a second, because it'll tell you that the Kickstarter backer package has been detected. There you go. Nano Blaster unlocked, Twista, and song unlocked, Do Not Retreat. And then you can just play and, go do the finish tutorial, blah, 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 and play the campaign, unlock the songs, how you would normally do. But if you don't want to go through all that, having to unlock all the songs and then playing campaign for freak mode, you can install Amplitude Deluxe, which is my preferred method of also playing custom songs. So we're going to go ahead and exit out of ShadPS4. We're going to close this. So for Amplitude Deluxe, it's very, very, very simple to install and initialize. Not too bad. We're going to go ahead and go. There will be a link in the description of this video for Amplitude Deluxe. You're going to go to releases, and you're going to download Git and also the initiate repo.bat. I'm going to go ahead and download this, put it in the tutorial folder. I don't really need Git, as I already have it installed. If I were to run it, it'll say, yeah, I already have a higher, like a more later version. This is just if you don't have Git. If you do have Git already, you don't need to run this exe. So what you're gonna do is we're gonna go back to our main folder. I'm gonna create a new folder, call it Amp Deluxe. I'm gonna copy this bat file into the Deluxe folder, and I'm gonna run it. What this is gonna do is basically pull the entire directory from here. It just makes it a lot easier, I would think, than just having to deal with like weird stuff. It shouldn't take too long. The entire thing isn't that huge. So while this initiates, I can tell you where you can get your custom songs. So you go here, table contents, we can click on custom songs, and it can take us to a repo of custom songs that I have contributed to. We have quite a bit of different songs from different community members of various quality, including the Amplitude 03 ports and frequency ports that I recently updated. If you do not want to download every custom song, because once this finishes initializing, you'll see that there is a download custom songs script. This script will download all the songs that are available in this repo. If you do not want to install every single custom song on the repo, you can go to this website here that is linked, and you can download individual songs from the repo itself. So if you just only wanted like Science Genius Girl, you can click on the song. It'll give you a zip file that you can extract, and you can just, I'm going to download it into our tutorial folder, and I'm going to download it here. So here's the song, nice and zipped with the files. What we're going to do is we're going to the Amp Deluxe folder. This is only if you want to add like specific songs. If you do not care and you just, chaos, you want everything, you can download all the custom songs. What you're going to do is you're going to go into _arc combined, and then we're going to go here, create a new folder called songs, and in that folder we're going to drag our custom song. This is where all the custom songs would be downloaded if you did run the download custom songs. So if you wanted to run this, you can run this and then just one by one delete whichever songs you don't want. You can use this as a reference for the folder IDs, because the folder is also the ID. So if you didn't want, let's say, Sandstorm, you could delete Sandstorm. If you didn't want Kimosabe from Amplitude, then you can delete the BT folder, and that will delete that song. So once you have the custom song extracted inside there, we need to do one more thing before building the game. So if you go back into ShadPS4, this is like the easier way if you have like your games separated in a different folder, but you can also just right click on Amplitude, open folder, open game folder, and we'll get the game folder with all the files extracted. What we want to do now is grab the HDR and all the ARC files, only the ARC files and the HDR. I'm going to cut the files because this will also act as our backup. I'm going to cut the files and paste them here. The main reason why I'm cutting the files is two reasons, actually. It's so that these files are not going to get edited in any way. And also, when you build Amplitude Deluxe, it'll condense all the ARC files so that it uses fewer. So if you have like 3 ARC files from Amplitude Deluxe and you mix them with all the ones in the vanilla game, the game will not load that correctly, or you might run into some issues because of that. That's the reason why I'm cutting the files and not pasting them. So once you cut the files and put them in the prep folder, you can go ahead and do build ps4.bat. Once you do that, it will take some time because it is going to be extracting the ARC files into its own folder, and then, copying over files from one folder into another so that it can rebuild it into your new ARC files. Once this is done, you'll notice they'll say press any key to continue. You can go ahead, press any key. It'll close the window. So what you're going to do now is we still have this folder open, which if you close this, you can access it, right click on Amplitude, open game folder, and it'll open up this folder. What we're going to do is we're going to go into _build PS4 AFR and then the game folder. And here you'll find your newly built ARC files. You're going to go ahead and I'm going to cut these. You don't have to cut these. You can copy them too. I'm going to cut these because whenever you build it, it's going to delete these anyways. Cut these into the Amplitude game folder that ShadPS4 is using. Once I got that done, go ahead and refresh. The file size probably shifted like a little bit, maybe. I honestly don't really know. But once that's done and you paste your files, you can go ahead and launch the game. You'll know that it worked correctly because you'll see the MileHacks logo appear under it. So once you got that set up, you have Amplitude Deluxe. I still have to go to the tutorial real quick, but I will be back when that's finished. Okay, just came back from finishing the tutorial. The main difference for Amplitude Deluxe compared to the base game is that it does have everything unlocked from the start. So if I were to go to options, you can see that I have Freak mode unlocked. And if I go into quick play, you can see that I have every song unlocked from the start, rather than it being requiring to play the game a bunch to unlock a lot of the bonus songs. And as you can tell, if I scroll down here, I also have Science Genius Girl, which was the one custom that I downloaded. I also have Super Difficulty unlocked. And then there is the Kickstarter Blaster. And there you have it. Amplitude 2016, running on ShadPS4 pretty smoothly.
Deploy nanotech boost.
Of course, there will be probably some little bit lag spikes because shader compilation, etc., etc. But the more you play, the more stable it gets.
Multiply. Deploy nanotech boost.
But yes, if you have any questions, you can DM me if you're having any issues. I hope you enjoy playing M16 on ShadPS4. It is definitely a way better experience than playing on RPCS3.